Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So, we're gonna have a very not fun and very not exciting video for you guys today, but one that I fundamentally felt like it was important to make. That is because there's 3 different subjects in this video, and honestly each one didn't really feel like its own video, but putting them together really goes to show just how absolutely crappily we're being treated in 2026 when it comes to both retro gaming, modern gaming, and just actually being able to play the games and enjoy the media we want from gaming companies we do business with. And I'm sure you've seen some of the news, maybe some of this will be known, maybe some of it won't be, but honestly this is not a good trend. It's anti-consumer on every single front, and it really is making it seem like gaming is just going completely off the rails in 2026, and it's probably going to continue to get worse, not better. And if you know me and you know the channel, you know I am the eternal optimist, but it's really hard to see any optimism in any of the subjects we're going to be covering today, and that really does bum me out because obviously I don't make this channel because I get rich from it. Trust me, I do not. I make it because I love games, both modern and retro, and seeing how gamers are being treated in 2026 is absolutely 100% fundamentally sucks. And it all comes down to my continued advocacy for physical media and physical games, being able to enjoy and own the thing you purchase and not getting shafted when it comes to the actual price that you're paying for something. Because if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you know full well I have a large collection of games, both modern as well as retro, and I love collecting them. Now, right off the top, the first of the 3 items in here is just how absolutely ridiculous the overall release of Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be. They are selling pre-orders for digital downloads so you can grab the massive file, which I'm sure is going to be a chore to download when everyone else hits the server, and you are not getting any physical copy of Grand Theft Auto 6. There was a rumor that there was going to be a later release of a disc in a box, but actually Rockstar has informed everyone that it is just going to be a download code on a sheet of paper. So if you want to own a copy of Grand Theft Auto 6, something that you can have on your shelf, you're just not going to be able to do that. And that download code is going to be something that I'll explain in just a moment, is 100% a business decision so that Rockstar Games can control every single penny of revenue that this thing is going to generate. And trust me, generate revenue it is going to do. And don't get me wrong, I don't really have any big issue with Rockstar Games selling something like this for $80. It is an absolutely massive production, and while I don't want to see the cost of games rise, that's really not why I'm upset whatsoever. I am bummed out because not getting a physical copy of Grand Theft Auto 6 means that you're always beholden to it being available on a server. Now I totally get that's not going to matter 1, 5, or maybe even 10 years from now, but what happens in 30 years when somebody wants to play Grand Theft Auto 6 when it's very retro to them? Maybe it might not actually be out there, maybe you can't even get a copy of it. Because the thing is, if it's digital download code only, and there isn't even a disc that has an authorization key, that means 2 things. 1, you don't technically own the game, and 2, you can never sell it again, you can't trade it in or anything else. And far be it from me for giving Nintendo a thumbs up on the channel all that often. You know I criticize their business practices, but at least on games that just have the game key card, you can take them to a store, you can lend them to a friend, you can go ahead and sell them, and the game follows the key card, not anything else. And that's something with Grand Theft Auto 6 you're just not going to be able to do whatsoever. You pay for it, you download it, and then if you want to do anything else with it, loan it to a friend or sell it, well that's just tough shit because they're not going to let you do that in any way, shape, or form. And honestly, that is a very scary thing as it leads us into our next of 3 subjects in here that are all tied together, and that is the fact that right now there is a lot of entertainment that you could purchase on the PlayStation Store being completely removed even though you paid for it. That is because Sony is losing their licensing agreement with Studio Canal, and they're removing 551 different pieces of entertainment that you could have paid money to quote-unquote own, and you're no longer going to actually have access to them. So that is legit just an instance in which you purchase something from somebody, and they are now taking it back and saying, well, that's just too bad, hope you enjoyed giving us money. No, you're not getting a refund, and that is insanity. And I'm not saying that's ever going to happen with something like Grand Theft Auto 6, but the reality situation is it could. There is no scenario in which this has been tested yet, and I feel like if a game was taken away from somebody or a group of someone's, there would be a lot of lawsuits involved in it. But this is the type of thing that needs to go to a class action lawsuit as well. You should not be able to purchase something with your money with the idea of ownership, in air quotes, and then just have it removed from you when the licensing agreement stops. And this is a metric crap ton of stuff, and I do have a very vested background in this because when I teach college kids film production, I also teach entertainment business law with a real big background in licensing for film and television. And that isn't just a licensed pieces to put into your actual film productions, but is also on the licensing the productions in and of themselves. These licenses should have been actually acquired by Sony in what we call perpetuity. That means that it basically has no end term limit. Yes, that is more expensive, and Sony definitely wanted to save some money here, where Studio Canal didn't offer an in perpetuity license to be able to sell these, and that is why now things that people actually paid real money for are going to be removed from their libraries and not going to be able to consume them again. And what other product can you just basically pay for and quote unquote buy, and then the company or companies come along and say, you know what, we've actually decided that you can't have it anymore, we're taking it back. That is the problem with digital downloads, and that's why it ties into Grand Theft Auto 6, at least in a tangential way. This is absolute insanity, because if you went to the store and you bought a Blu-ray, and then all of a sudden Studio Canal showed up at your door and said, you know what, we don't want you to have it anymore, give us back the physical copy, you would slam the door shut in their faces. You wouldn't give them that disc because, damn it, you owned it, you paid for it, it belongs to you. But somehow suddenly when you download it digitally, you don't own shit. And that really is a big problem. But the third part of this video is going to talk about when you actually can own something, and how absolutely ridiculous and price gougey retro gaming is becoming. And this isn't the type of video I enjoy making, and I'm not here just to crap on a bunch of companies and quote unquote shame them. This is just what I hate about this hobby. Right now, nobody really wants you to own anything. If they actually want to allow you to own something, they want you to pay through the nose like you're some sort of cash pig whose wallet is basically their private domain, and they want to be able to own every single dollar inside of it. And that leads us into our next example. We're going to be talking about Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 and Sonic's 35th anniversary. Now, every single time a major franchise hits a major anniversary milestone, there's new releases, there's re-releases, there's artwork, there's all sorts of different merch you can buy, and some people definitely do want to purchase that, and that is totally cool. I'm not here how to tell you guys how to spend your money, or even on what you should or shouldn't spend it on. I'm here to talk about the fact that sometimes in retro, and even modern now, you have to pay through the absolute nose for the most basic of things, because now suddenly actually owning a copy of something is considered a privilege and considered a special edition. Think about Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and the original Sonic the Hedgehog, some of the best Sonic games ever made, but also some of the most common Sonic games ever made, so much so that the original was packed into like 50% of Sega Genesis for a while. So it's not like Sonic or Sonic 2 or any way, shape, or form rare games. They are some of the most common Sega Genesis games out there, and like 10 years ago, you could buy a complete in-box copy for like $10, and that would be a really nice condition copy, not one that has been absolutely torn up. But now for the 35th anniversary, of course, we're going to see some merch and some re-releases of different Sonic games. I'm telling you right now, the end goal, pun very much intended for the footage you're seeing right here, is to get you to pay top dollar for something that you don't need to pay top dollar for any reason whatsoever, and it is just insanity. So you'll see here two different Sonic 35th anniversary editions, the original as well as Sonic 2, are being sold again for pre-order for $99.99 or $100 for games that you can legit go out and buy for like $15 if you don't want a perfect copy, and like $30 if you want that thing to be damn near mint. And those are original copies. These are obviously reproductions, and even if they are licensed reproductions, they are still repos. So when gaming companies even deign to allow you to own something and can't take it back from you, or won't even sell you a disc in the first place, in the example of Grand Theft Auto, they have the absolute balls to sit here and try to sell two of the most common Sega Genesis games ever for $100. Sure, you get a new package, sure you get a manual, sure you get a different color plastic, but I'm telling you right now, the profit margin on this thing is straight up sky high through the roof, unless they paid Sega a metric crap ton to license the ability to actually make these, and I'm pretty sure at this point in time, not even Sonic is that valuable. If you want a copy of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, or if you want a copy of the original Sonic the Hedgehog, even if you want them in mint condition, do not buy repros like this. And don't get me wrong, I'm not really trying to tell you how to spend your money. I just can't imagine a world in which people should be rewarded for trying to sell a reprint of something for $100, including Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. And this really is where the industry is going. They don't want you to own your physical media. They don't want you to own your games and entertainment. They want you to download them digitally, and then they want to be able to take them away from you whenever you want, because this is real money in the millions of dollars that was paid to be able to quote unquote buy these films and TV shows, and now you're not going to be able to actually watch them anymore. And we're in a world where Grand Theft Auto 6, one of the biggest releases of a game basically in this generation, you're not even going to be able to own a copy of it. You can't loan it to a friend. You can't sell it if you want to. You just basically gave Rockstar $80, and if you want, you can't do shit with it. And that really is a bummer. And if they will sell you a physical game, you better bring your wallet. You better pay top dollar, because you're going to be $100+. and it just sucks, and I totally get it. This isn't everything, but it is a bummer, and I wanted to talk about it because you guys asked a lot. But you can leave me a comment down below and you tell me how you feel about this new reality, but I'm pretty sure 10 out of 10 of you are going to hate it. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.